This movie doesn't have a tagline.
How?
I don't know. I couldn't find anything about a tagline. So, eat me, yak, and die. Welcome to I Be Suffer.
I could go for a nice, refreshing miak right now.
Good. Some nice, authentic Bulgarian miak hit the spot.
Yum.
I'm just cutting it yum.
That's the whole episode.
Yep. Welcome to episode 214, I think, of I Be Suffer. My name is Nathan Power Tools Sizemore.
What?
Ernest Power Tools Worrell.
I'm top 100 songs that trolls make love to. Get home.
Wow, I really regret saying this, but I'm not going to say it. I was going to say that I was the dog's name, but that's terrible.
It's not Rim Job, it's Rimshot.
Okay, but come on.
It's literally the name, like a Rimshot is like
the drum thing.
Like joke thing from.
I know what a rim shot is.
I don't know if you do.
I don't know if you do.
Leave Rimshot alone. He's the fucking king. Absolute king. Only appeared in this and I think goes to jail. Should have been in all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a king.
Yeah, we are talking about 1991's Ernest Scared Stupid. Fucking
Yeah.
perfect movie. Absolute banger. Just
Rimshot.
so much fucking snot coming out of
So
trolls.
much
Yeah.
snot.
I wasn't expecting all the snot, honestly.
So many Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
Yummy.
honestly, the one complaint in this movie, I might knock it down to 4.5 stars instead of 5, is that Ernest doesn't like Brussels sprouts. Come on, bro.
Oh, they're garbage.
Yeah.
I'm with
God.
Ernest.
No. Brussels are like one of my favorites.
Roasted
No,
Brussels
they're
sprouts,
trash.
So good.
the
They
best.
taste like farts. Someone buttered a fart.
Have you?
It's awful.
No.
Look,
Have
if you put
when was
butter
the
on
last
anything,
time-
I'll eat it, including a
When
fart.
was the last time that you had a Brussels sprout, Kit?
Like 2 or 3 years ago.
You lie. They genetically altered Brussels sprouts so that they don't smell bad anymore, and they're amazing.
That's not true.
Honestly, I don't know if
It
that's
If
is.
true,
anything, they
but
made them
Look it up.
smell worse.
No, they're delicious.
That's
They're
awful.
delectable.
some roasted
I
Brussels
eat
sprouts
them
with lemon
whole.
pepper on it is my shit. I'm in.
It smells like someone
I-
just shit it right onto the plate.
Oh god, I want to see it right now. Give me that shit.
I do too. They're really good
Ugh.
raw too.
Heathens.
Like,
Oh, I don't know
if
about
you-
raw. I'm not into that. But
Oh,
Yeah,
Katie, you're a
you-
lunatic. Just raw dogging farts.
Yeah.
Not even buttering them.
No, you like slice them.
Puffing
really
them straight
thin
from the
and
plant butt.
you slice them really thin, and then you put them in, mix them in with salad, and they're so good.
Ugh.
A little parmesan,
I
a
guess
little
like
pine nut,
like
amazing.
shredded or whatever. I was just thinking biting
Yeah.
into one like raw,
no,
and I was
no,
like,
no,
what's
no.
wrong with you?
No, shredded. Definitely shredded.
Yeah. So this is obviously one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm completely biased because like this is something I've loved since I was a kid, so I have no idea how it holds up to people watching it now for the first time, which Katie has, so we'll get into that. But it I love it. It's this and Goes to Jail kind of flip-flop between my favorite Ernest movies, kind of just depending on what mood I'm in. Because Goes to Jail
Yeah, they both rock.
also pretty fucking perfect. And they're both like the two that have like
Rimshot.
well that, but also like the probably the most like budget to them. So they look more like real movies as opposed to like low budget things, because like after this, like I don't, for some reason this movie was like, I think a bomb at in theaters.
Cowards.
Which is, well, I was reading something about it, how like I think it was like generally scary to little kids, and like
Yeah.
did not do well in theaters. This was kind of like, this was like kind of like the peak of where Ernest was at, and then this kind of like it all starts going downhill into kind of like, I think this is like it's one of the things I also read was this was the last one they made and like actually filmed in the US, and all the rest were filmed like overseas somewhere. And there's like 5 movies after this. So, and I think there's one after this that was like produced by Disney, and then the last 4 were not. So it was kind of like, I don't know, this perfect movie somehow started the end of the Ernest franchise, which also probably would have never ended if Jim Varney was still alive. I think it would have just kept going, but I don't know. I love it. It's fucking perfect for me. Katie, what did you think as a first time viewer and first Ernest movie, I assume?
I honestly, it might be like, obviously I'm very aware of who Ernest is, and I knew growing up who he was, but I honestly don't know if I'd ever seen any like Ernest movies at all, which to me seems really baffling.
Yes, Saves Christmas seems like right up your alley somehow that you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe for some reason it like this. Oh well, and Scared Stupid I think definitely seems like a movie that I would have seen, and I just had it, and I don't know why. But so I'm just gonna say like this was my first time and maybe my first Ernest movie, and I'm not really aware of like super aware of like what his kind of like whole like shtick is, aside from the fact that he's like kind of like a dumb, sweet, like misunderstood kind of character. And so I think like overall I liked the movie. Like it definitely wasn't my favorite because I think it was just a little too goofy for me. I definitely, aside from the fact that I think these trolls are so gross, I could definitely see why kids were scared of them. They like obviously put their whole budget behind them. There's at one point where the troll asks a demon to make him immortal, not immortal, like stronger or whatever, and I'm like, that's definitely not really kid stuff. Like
shit starts like grown out of its head and stuff.
He's got like fucking tentacles flopping around. He's
rules.
like, these
huge
are
boogers.
Oh, the booger! Come on, the boogers. I do see how like this would scare kids because they're not like goofy looking trolls. Like they're like somebody put their whole like it's like they really developed these trolls. There's a lot of them. They're very scary. It's like, aside from that, this is very much like a kids movie, just like with the jokes and like the stupid puns and like all of that stuff. I don't understand the character thing that happens in this movie a few times.
What do you
like
mean?
where Ernest is just like acting like different people.
Oh, so
he's a dude who rocks.
Yeah, it's just dudes being dudes.
Yeah.
So the Ernest character was created essentially for like ad campaigns, and like it was kind of like a regional thing that got extremely popular and became like a nationwide thing that then turned into a TV show and then the movies. I think the TV show came out before the movies. I don't know. But like it started out as like just this regional kind of, I want to say like Kentucky, kind of Tennessee sort of general area. And like it would be like, you know, like the milk in this is all Purity milk, which was like one of the brands Ernest did commercials for. And it would be like a lot of I think the big one that I remember specifically as a kid is he did 7-Up, I think. 7-Up or Sprite, whichever one had the term for like lime in, like the lemon and lime. I forget which one it was, but it was one of those. And like there's they release DVDs that have like fucking just 150 fucking commercials and then outtakes from the commercials and shit. And when it eventually spun off into a TV show, the TV show is very much kind of like you can't do that on television, if either of you watched that.
Right.
Where, like, it's basically, like, 30-second skits. Just fucking, like, just going back to back. And it's, like, very ADHD feeling to watch now. Where you're just like, God, this is fucking, like, all over the place.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of it is Jim Varney doing all these different characters, including... Like, the one that kind of, I think, shows up in almost everything is the old lady in the neck brace, Auntie Nelda.
Right.
And it's just... I think mostly it's just one of those things that it let Jim Varney, like, be like a comedic... Because Jim Varney, like... As much as, like, he's pretty much only really known for this, and then he was the voice of Slinky Dog in the first 2 Toy Stories? Maybe just the first one? I don't know. He died...
I think just the first.
Yeah, I would say I've never seen them, so I'm not totally sure, but he died, like, after the first or second one, but probably the first. I think he died in 99, maybe. Something like that. And so, like, when he started acting, he wanted to be an actor. Like, he was doing dramas and, like, serious plays and shit, and then just kind of got pigeonholed into this Ernest character, which, like, he enjoyed doing, but he wanted to do other shit, too. And so I think all of these characters, and especially when they did the TV show and he got to kind of, like, do different characters with it, it's just a way for him to, like, not get bored. And I'm here for all of it, though. Auntie Nelda, just the best.
I do.
My favorite's the flannel guy.
The
I don't know his name. Yeah.
He was like a Botswana.
He knows there's no
lumberjack.
Yeah, no trees in Botswana.
Yeah.
I ain't never had a job. I do, now that you say the commercial thing, I do vividly remember the commercials of him, like, leaning in a window or something.
Yeah, so, like...
I remember those. I don't think I ever saw the TV show, though. So the different character montage thing in the movie made absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, like minus Auntie Nelda, it's like none of these are, like, characters from the TV show. Like, a lot of the movies, especially the ones with kind of bigger budgets like this and Go to Jail, there's a lot of, like, Jim Varney doing these other characters. Well, like Goes to Jail, he plays, like, evil, like a, evil version of Ernest, because he ends up in jail because there's a guy that looks exactly like him, but he has slick back hair instead of...
Amazing.
You think that's slick back?
Yeah.
That's push back.
So yeah, I think mostly it was just a way for Jim Varney to just kind of, like, flex his comedic muscles or whatever. And it's like, I'm trying to think. I know for a fact he does a lot of that shit in, I think, joins the army, because there's a really unfortunate scene of him doing brownface. Where he plays like an Indian man.
He kind of did it a little bit in this one, too, when he was playing an Ottoman or something. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's real egregious in Joins the Army. That's why I'm always like, yeah, people, like, Goes to Africa sounds like it would be real bad, but it's nothing compared to Army.
Yeah.
The two that you would assume are bad.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense to me. I just, like, without the context, to me, I didn't really understand what was happening, and so it kind of took me out of the movie. But as far as like the plot of the movie, I liked it a lot. I liked the stuff that, like the other stuff that happened. I really liked the trolls. Like I said, they put so much work into them. They're like goopy and snotty, and like they're all unique looking.
Yeah,
So I liked that aspect of it.
One of them is a straight up a killer clown from Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Dude,
it's so funny.
I wrote that. I was like, I wrote a note to like remember to ask her, like bring that up, because I was like, this guy literally just looks like a mute color clown from space. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, it's the Kyoto brothers did all of the trolls and like all like the effects for them and shit. So they just like
reuse a couple.
I mean,
it's fine.
You can see why this would be scary for kids, but as far as like a kid's horror movie goes, like this is. Or more specifically, because there's a difference between like a kid's horror movie and like a Halloween movie, right? And this to me is very much like a Halloween movie, and so the aspects of it that were a Halloween movie, like I really liked. I think it was just kind of like the things that I was not really familiar with as far as like Ernest stuff goes were the things that I was like, what's happening here? But like overall, it was like good. It was fine. It was good.
I think you have to kind of look at it as like he's very like Pee Wee Herman like.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I think that's probably.
Although
like
I challenge a little less annoying than Pee Wee, and I like Pee Wee's Big Adventure a lot, but like he can get annoying to me sometimes with the like, haha, like.
Yeah, I love both of them. I'm here. I'll watch. I haven't watched Pee Wee's Playhouse in a long time. I should rewatch that sometime soon. Like I always mean to look up. I should have. The budget to this has to have been wild, because I can't even imagine, unless they just happened to find a fucking wild house, like how much money was spent making Eartha Kitt's house.
Oh yeah.
Because like the thing about these movies is like Goes to Camp was the first one, and like was made pretty cheaply because all they really had to do was rent out like an existing camp. And then
and get a turtle.
Like Saves Christmas has some kind of like budget to it, but not like there's not a whole lot going on in it other than having to create like a sleigh and like all that shit. And then it's Goes to Jail and this, which both have the most kind of elaborate like setups, and like they had to like the thing with like everything following Scared Stupid is all of it is shot like all like a lot of, I don't know, like Goes to School and Slam Dunk Ernest, I swear there's probably not a single shot like outside of the buildings they were in the entire time. Like they never go outside from what I remember. Like Slam Dunk Ernest is all pretty much shot in like a mall that looks just the fucking shittiest mall you've ever seen, and then like a fucking YMCA basketball court that they tried to make look like an NBA basketball court. So you watching this after those, sometimes I'm like, God damn, this movie looks like it was made for $200 million as opposed to like $15.
Yeah, I mean, you have her house, and then like the tree house, like that whole thing with that, and like the pods, and then the trolls. I feel like the budget had to have been high.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into it.
All right. So this movie starts immediately with the title and credits.
It's just banger
which
opening
is
credits.
Yeah, incredible montage.
Being scared of
Stupid.
like black and white horror movie clips, and also spooky jam music.
Well, the opening theme is perfect.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's like spooky. It's like, imagine spooky background music, but then Ernest being like, "Ah!" Like that's the music.
The actual theme song rules, and like honestly, the theme song to most of these movies are usually bangers because I think the same people do them in all of them. Like they do a pretty good job of creating like a very specific like opening theme song to all of them.
Yeah. And I will say, like, again, like that did add to this very much feels like a 90s. I mean, it's 91, but it very much feels like a 90s like Halloween movie, which is like my favorite genre. So it opens with a little girl who is being chased through the woods by a creature we don't see, and the creature is about to catch her, but then a net is thrown over the creature by a bunch of like colonial people with torches. So we're not in for a good time here. They basically say that they're going to bury the creature under the roots of an oak tree, and then the creature says, "When the face of death covers the moon, one with your blood in his veins will release me." And I have to say, the creature, I had a hard time understanding him sometimes because for some reason he was not subtitled. I don't like this.
That's part of his evil power.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could just eradicate subtitles.
That's pretty powerful. So then, like, as the story's being told, it opens up to a classroom where we meet Elizabeth, who has told this story as a report, as like a history report, which I have to say I very much identify with Elizabeth because, like, one of the bullies kind of like makes fun of her because her report is supposed to be like a history report, and basically she's told a like monster folklore story about the town, and then later she makes a haunted house, and I feel very seen by her. I'm her. So she's like telling the story like, as if it is like fact and history or whatever. And there's like these two bully bros, who I called the bully bros, who make fun of her for it basically. And then the teacher, I hate to say this, but you know how, Nathan, you were joking about how people were posting stuff like, oh, this thing in Stranger Things is like a homage to the Goonies and to E.T. I saw a lot of parallels from Stranger Things with this movie. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Ernest
and that's
did
one
it
of
first,
them.
And
they should acknowledge it.
Be forced
Acknowledge
to
that Stranger
give
Things
restitution.
is based off of Ernest. Yeah, for real. So, yeah.
Everyone should just watch Ernest instead of Stranger Things.
Hard agree.
And basically the teacher is just like, you know what, it's fine. Like, folklore is a part of the town's history too, so like it's fine that she told the story. And then she asked the little girl, like, basically what the creature's curse was. And she says that the curse is that the descendants of the, people who buried him would get dumber and dumber and dumber. And then it cuts
perfect setup
to Ernest's face. And I have to say, he's looking pretty dumb. He's got a pretty dumb look on his face. And so
the thing that rules is every single movie, there's like no continuity tied between them. He's in a different city, has a different job. Like, there's like, he's never got the same shit. The only thing that like crosses over is like 2 of the movies he's got Rimshot. Like, Chuck and
like characters.
Chuck and Bobby are in a
His
couple
outfit,
of them, but for some reason Chuck's name is Cliff in this movie. Like, there's things that like cross over, but there's never any continuity between any of it.
I'll say, I think Chuck is played by a different actor in a couple of them too, right?
No, at some point, like Bobby is in, I think 4 or 5 of them, but at some point, those 2 characters or whatever are just like gone and replaced with like 2 other characters that have like the same sort of like aesthetic,
like fill the same role.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Chuck and Bobby died.
Yeah, they got
the trolls got them.
They got hoofed to death at Ernest Saves Christmas when the reindeer were in the airport hangar.
Okay, so Ernest he is basically like the head of sanitation, and he's got some kind of like trash can cleaning device happening.
That's like
that
periodically some of the movies he has these very ridiculous like Pee Wee Herman, Rube Goldberg
invention.
things going on.
Yeah. So it's like a device that basically like makes mops and water like clean trash cans. But of course the device goes awry and he ends up getting shut inside his garbage truck, which to me sounds absolutely terrifying. And of course it's like compacting while he's in there. And he's trying to use all this different kind of trash to like stop it from happening, but like nothing's working. Until he takes the batteries out of this like remote control that he has, and so that it stops the truck from closing in on him, but then it also electrocutes him. So he's just all kinds of shenanigans are already happening.
I like to think he still
Rimshot,
has his electric and magnetic powers from Ernest Goes to Jail, and that's what did it.
Spoiler alert.
probably.
Yeah,
Wow.
spoiler for a movie Katie hasn't seen yet.
Rimshot, who is his dog, he's like a wishbone-looking dog, barks out the front of the truck to alert Elizabeth and Kenny, who are like the two main. Kenny's like the main kid character guy, and he looked so familiar to me. But then when I like tried to look up like who he was, he didn't have like I always want to say a mugshot. He didn't have like a headshot or anything, so I was like, I don't know why he looked so familiar.
He quit acting after this because he got relentlessly made fun of for the kiss in the movie, and he was just like, "Fuck acting."
That's
Damn.
so mean.
That's brutal.
What the heck?
It was the 90s.
Dumb.
There wasn't even the internet. Fucking hell.
Wow. Okay, so Rimshot alerts Elizabeth and Kenny, and they run over and free Ernest. But he is in a big brick of trash, and his feet are like turned in an impossible way that are like sticking out of the pile of trash like next to his body, and it looks just ridiculous.
I love
Again,
like
terrifying if you're a child, I would think.
I have a soft spot for fucking like shit like this, like in like a kids movie or TV show where like your protagonist should just be absolutely maimed and fucking murdered
Dead.
in something, and it's just like he's totally fine.
Yeah. Okay, so then there's a scene where the mayor, who is the father of the Bully Bros, talks to the sheriff,
One
who
bully's
is
got a
Kenny's
sick
dad.
mullet.
Of course he does. About how Ernest was supposed to clean up the quote-unquote Hackmore place. And Ernest, and like the sheriff is kind of trying to like stick up for him or whatever, but the mayor's like reaming him out or whatever. Ernest drives by them, and so the sheriff pulls him over and is like, "Hey, you were supposed to do this thing." Then he sees that the kids are inside the truck, and like they get in trouble essentially because they're not supposed to be riding around with him. So Ernest basically is forced to go to the Hackmore place, which, to be fair, is very daunting looking. It is like a dump, but the trash is arranged in kind of like a maze situation, and like the city basically wants him to like go and remove all the trash. But I don't know how one person could be doing that. And so Ernest knocks on the door, which is, the door knocker is like a really intricate like hand, but it's like all made out of like metal kind of, and then he has to like push on the hand to like knock the door, and it's like very crazy. And so Miss Hackmore, or Old Lady Hackmore or whatever, answers. She is of course looking like a crazy old witch lady, and she comes out and is like yelling at him because he's like, "I was sent here to like remove all this trash," and she's like, "There's no trash here, like this is my house, like go away," or whatever. And basically she realizes who he is, and she's basically just like, "Bro, you need to leave because you're going to bring a plague down upon all of our houses. Like, go away." And then she fires a flamethrower at him. So, of course, he leaves because it's a flamethrower.
That's why you stay.
You
start with a flamethrower, you're going to see where it's going.
True. This is where we see Elizabeth giving Kenny and I think his name was Joey, but I called him Glasses, a tour of like her haunted house, and she's like explaining basically what's going to happen in the haunted house. But then the bully bros come and literally like knock the house down, which is real fucked up. And the kids like run away, and Kenny goes to tell Ernest about like what happened. And this is when Ernest tells him about Botswana. And I was very confused because I was like, he is wearing a bunch of different costumes that don't really have anything to do with like the situation or what he's talking about. But it's basically just like a bunch of cameos about how there was a war between the Botswanans and the Ottomans, I guess, essentially. And Kenny hears this story and decides that what they need to do is build a treehouse. Of course.
Makes sense.
So that's what they do. They set out into the woods. They find a spooky-looking overgrowth with, like, dead trees and, like, fog, the works. And they, Ernest tells them some very helpful information about, like, how if they get lost and they need to find north, bark grows on the outside of trees, which I thought was pretty funny.
It's good advice.
Like,
Makes sense.
It's not wrong. It's completely factual. So, they find this huge-looking tree, and they start putting, like, all of Ernest's junk in it, and they essentially, like, turn it into, like, a bitchin' treehouse situation. But while they're doing this, we see the creature underneath the ground, kind of, like, stirring, and also we see a tiny little ghost, which I wasn't sure why there was a ghost, but I did like him. Hackmore senses that something is amiss, and she comes out and she sees them building the treehouse in that tree, and she's just like, oh no, this is so bad, like, what were you thinking? This is terrible. And Ernest is kind of like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, I didn't know this was your property, like, technically it's above your property, so I thought it would be okay. And he, like, follows her to, like, kind of sort it out or whatever. Meanwhile, the bullies come looking for, like, the kids, and they find them in the treehouse, and they start throwing rocks at the treehouse, which, again, so fucked up. And then the kids start throwing pizzas at them.
Those were used props from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Checks out. And so the bullies don't like it, and they leave.
They also
Ernest comes
shoot
back.
what I believe are cans of dog food at them.
I knew that there were cans, but I wasn't sure what it was.
I've never like
just dog
been
food.
sure, but I was always kind of just assumed it was dog food.
So I was like, that seems like it would hurt a lot to be hit by dog food, like a can of something.
Yeah.
I don't know. The bullies are like, this isn't over, and they run away or whatever. Ernest comes back and basically says that Hackmore told him about a troll who turns kids into wooden dolls. Terrifying. And he's like, they're like, oh my God, what? And he's like, hey, don't worry about it. It's totally cool, because the only way that the troll will come back to life is if the night before Halloween, a descendant of the Whirl family will place his hand on a specific tree and say, yay, I call thee forth, Chantor. But it's all of those things. So that's what happens. I like how she told him those things and then was just like, all right, see ya.
Yeah, her kid's got shit to do.
I mean, obviously, her house. She needs to build more pan sculptures for her house.
The dusting that has to be done in that house?
Like, constantly, yeah, constant. So yeah, it's all of those things, and it happens. The troll is free. This troll, by the way, if you haven't seen it, is 90% face. It has a huge face and head. Boogers, literal green snot coming out of its nose constantly. It's furry. It's goopy. I could imagine
so much
being
slime.
very scared of this as a kid. Yeah, it's just is a nightmare. And
Doesn't
so the
need
kids,
any water on the slip and slide.
no,
Self-provided.
It's self-lubricating slip and slide situation. The kids get scared and run.
Same.
So Ernest is there by himself, and it's like lightning and it's creepy and stuff, and he's like freaked out. And the troll indeed does show up, and it's like roaring and like yelling at him and shit, and he's like scared. But then he is trying to get away from the troll, and he kicks over a cooler that has like cartons of milk in it, and then the troll disappears, and he's like, okay, that was weird. So the kids have all been like, okay, gotta go home, and they split up. Glasses is left by himself, and he immediately like falls down a muddy bank, and then the troll shows up and turns him into a wooden doll.
What an idiot.
Yeah, stupid dumb glasses.
Being a wooden doll seems pretty fucking preferable.
I wonder, are you conscious, or are you just like nothing?
I hope not.
Yeah.
Being conscious
just like a nap.
Isn't great.
Ernest goes to tell the sheriff about the troll, and the sheriff, like, of course, doesn't believe him, and essentially just like shuts the door on his face, and Ernest just like keeps talking about the troll, which I thought was pretty funny. The troll places the doll of glasses in a groove that is now like inside the tree, and is like, yeah, grow, my precious. And then there's like Brussels sprouts growing out of the tree that
Gross.
are pretty goopy looking.
They look pretty tasty.
Delicious.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I would have ate a troll
I like
pod.
snotty.
Troll farts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give me some snotty
Delicious.
Brussels sprouts.
Yum. So Ernest then goes to Hackmore to tell her about like what happened essentially, and he like knocks on the door and he's like, sorry to bother you, and she says, you're bothering the whole planet. Which is not wrong. Terrible. And she's basically just like, oh well, the prophecy is true, here we are, it's happening. And so she shows him a book that has a picture of the troll, and she basically is like reading the prophecy off of the, out of the book or whatever. And she says that the troll needs 5 kids by midnight on Halloween in order to basically like take over or whatever. So Ernest has to stop the troll because he is the great redneck of hope.
Yeah, redneck hope.
And so basically he starts by running through town with a bullhorn, warning people about the trolls coming. And everyone's
so
just
good.
like, what the fuck? He's literally just like running, like, there's trolls everywhere, everyone hide, put on good running shoes, tie your laces, like, get ready. And they're like, what in the fuck? A like classic situation where everyone just like thinks he's a joke, so like nobody takes him seriously or whatever kind of thing. Then we are introduced to the Tulip Brothers, who are doing a commercial that is very terrible.
There's like Jim Varney is so good at like, especially as Ernest, when he does that kind of like exasperated, extremely like stupid kind of like acting, where like that scene when he's running around and just kind of yelling like he's like should be out of breath, like he just somehow is still going, and he's just like yelling shit fast paced and is just being like extremely exasperated about it. Like, it's so good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Really, the Tulip Brothers are doing a commercial, and they're terrible. And so Ernest goes in there. They say something he's like, do we have the best stuff here? Does a fat puppy hate a fast car, or something like that? And I was like, what in the fuck? Terrible. I hate it.
I forget what the other one is.
It's also bad. I can't remember. Then there's one where he goes, do rattlesnakes kiss really slow, or something like that? I don't know. But
they
he
kiss
goes
like
there and
gently or some shit.
Yeah, cautiously or something. So he goes there and he's basically just like, trolls are happening, and they're like, they basically the guy is like, oh yeah, well, we've got this like troll repellent, we've got this troll tarp, and like sells him like $1,000 worth of crap that doesn't do shit for him or whatever.
You don't know that.
I don't know. That record sounds pretty good.
Oh, what was the record?
101 troll love songs or some shit.
That comes free with the $1,000 purchase of troll stuff.
Sounds like
apparently.
a good deal to me.
Ernest tells. Oh, never mind. Elizabeth. So then Elizabeth tells Kenny that Glasses never came home that night, and Kenny's like, "Oh, he's probably just at the treehouse. Let's go. What, are you scared or something?" And if I was Elizabeth, I'd been like, "Yes, I'm scared. Our child friend did not come home last night. That's bad."
That's just trolls.
But anyways, they race each other to the treehouse, and it's all spooky looking. And they find the doll of Glasses, and they're like, "Well, that's suspicious." And they get scared. Like, the troll's there, like, making noises and shit. And so they get scared and run over to Hackmore's place. And the troll follows them. They're safe for now, though, because the troll just, like, grabs the kid off of a skateboard and turns him into a doll.
You should have gotten on the skateboard and skated away. That would have been sick.
Oh, man, I would pay so much money to watch this troll fucking skateboard.
There's got to be a movie about trolls skateboarding. We'll find it.
Yeah, it's called Gleaming the Cube.
Skate Trolls.
How dare you? Hackmore tells them that if the tree pods, aka Brussels sprouts, come off of the tree and hit the ground, then they're doomed, essentially. And then she says that they need a child's heart.
That's where this movie should have gone.
So, yeah.
Troll just cut down a kid's heart.
And then eating it.
Yes.
Would have been perfect. Ernest sets up a troll trap, if you will. Basically using a garbage can and then a baby doll. And so he thinks that the troll will go in the garbage can to get the doll and then get trapped or whatever.
Well,
smart.
We'll talk about it when it gets revealed what ends up in the trash can, but I'm so baffled at, like, what bit.
Yeah, very confused. So basically then they drop Elizabeth off at her house, and then Kenny goes to, like, find his dad to tell his dad to meet, like, Ernest at the tree or whatever. But the bully bros are at Kenny's house dressed up as gorillas, I guess, and they scare him, and he's like, "Oh no!" And then Kenny's mom shows up, and it's basically just like scares them off. So Kenny's like, "I have to go find my dad, the sheriff. See ya," and leaves. Elizabeth is at home, and she's scared because of the troll, and her mom is, like, kind of mean to her about it. She makes Elizabeth check under the bed for monsters herself, which is very rude. There's nothing there, but then when she rolls over, the fucking troll is in her bed next to her.
Hell yeah.
Which is terrifying.
Scared the shit out of me as a child.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not rolling over no matter what. There could be anything back there.
Literally.
Could be a troll that's 80% face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta sleep with your back against the wall so the trolls don't get in bed behind you.
You feel any snot on your back, just ignore it.
A little gross. And she screams, obviously. It's terrifying.
Wow!
Thank you. Very good.
That was her scream.
Is that the scream you did the first time you watched this as a kid?
Oh, yeah. Whoa!
Ernest then sets a bear trap for the troll, and the bear trap is literally as big as he is tall, because he's, like, splayed out in the middle trying to set the trap.
So good.
And he says to Rimshot that
it's
he's
Rimshot.
a dog, but he's Rimshot.
That's fucked up, Katie. He's a dog.
This is the problem.
You got a sick mind. Poor innocent little wishbone over here.
I know. He says that he's a cute dog, but he's a really ugly child.
Rude.
The trap, like, shuts on him, but we don't see it, and obviously 100% he would be dead, but he's totally fine.
The fucking, like, just view of him splayed out, like, trying to hold it down is so funny.
It's ridiculous. So after that, Ernest needs to get his blood sugar up for the fight. So he goes to the store to get chocolate milk and donuts. And the troll has followed him and snuck in after him into the store. So Ernest goes up to the clerk and is like talking to him. And the clerk sees the troll and like freaks out. And so Ernest thinks that the clerk is trying to play charades with him. But he's just so scared he can't speak. And so he ends up pulling a gun. And Ernest is just like, oh my god, you take charades really seriously. And is like startled, and he throws the milk backwards. And it splashes all over the place, and the troll runs away. And so Ernest is like, what the fuck is going on here? Very strange. Kenny is still riding around looking for his dad, and he hears what he thinks is Elizabeth calling him from a random huge metal pipe just sitting in the middle of this nowhere.
Normal.
And he looks in and is like, Elizabeth's not there, but when he turns around, the troll is there. And he gets one of the bully bros and turns him into a doll. And then the troll is talking to him in Elizabeth's voice, which, again, as a child, terrifying. Because Elizabeth is a little girl. And he's like, run, Kenny, I'm gonna get you. But he's like a snot,
just pouring snot out of his face, just pissing down.
Troll. Yeah. Then we see the parents yelling at the sheriff because a bunch of the kids are missing. Also, there's a guy there who's mad that his trash hasn't been picked up because he's going to be having guests, which priorities, you know. Kenny is saved. He's being chased by the troll that is calling to him Elizabeth's voice, and he's saved by a milk truck driving by. So I think you can see that there's a theme here. Ernest's troll trap alert goes off, and I thought it was
Sandstorm.
really funny because when
Always.
On the front of the dumpster, it says "Kids for free" with an arrow pointing into the dumpster. So keep that in mind.
Honestly, pretty
Kenny,
smart to assume that trolls can read. I bet they do.
Honestly.
I bet they have a whole education system that's better than ours.
Probably.
Not a high bar, but they clear.
They all could speak after being born, so yeah, I think so. Kenny is trying to talk to his dad about the troll situation. The mayor comes in and says he's the mayor of the Bully Brothers. Oh, I guess it wasn't the Bully brother who got taken. Never mind. It was just some other random kid. My bad. The mayor is saying that his kids have been missing and he wants the sheriff to go look for him. The sheriff is convinced that all of these children that have been missing, some of them for overnight, convinced that they are just at the school at the Halloween dance, which seems about right for police work as far as I have experience with. But the mayor's like, no, I'm demanding you look for my children. And this is when Ernest comes in and says that he has trapped the troll that's been stealing the kids. You have to come check. You have to come look. I have them. And the sheriff is has a moment where he's like, okay, let's go see what's going on. So they go outside and they open up the garbage truck, but inside is not a troll.
After Ernest is like,
Let's
do you want me to squish him
him
right now? I'll crush him
You
right
want me
now.
to kill it. The sheriff is like, no, open it. Draw the gun. It is the mayor's children. Which begs the question, why?
I'm always so baffled as how they end up in there, because it's just a fucking dumpster with a baby doll in it that says something I forget what he puts. It says troll something on it. What? How did they get in there?
And why? My only guess is that they were hiding in there to scare somebody, I guess. But I don't know.
My head
just seemed like the place to be.
My headcanon is they got chased in there by the troll, but I just also like to just assume they're hey, this dumpster's here. Why don't we climb in?
It would have made more sense if it said free candy, not free kids inside or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Maybe they like baby dolls. That it's fine if you do, but
Unlike trolls, they can't read.
Yeah, true.
Right, probably not. The mayor, of course, is a little upset over the situation. Fires Ernest from being the sanitary director or whatever.
The trash king.
The trash
the
king.
only
and
trash man in town for some reason.
Literally. And the sheriff basically is mad and tells him to grow up. And Ernest is like really sad about it. But Rimshot peps him up, and he is ready to fight. Then there is a scene that I just wrote, ew, why, what the fuck, which is a flashback
The rim job.
of the rim.
I just needed stated
name.
on the record that Rimshot had an 18-year acting career.
Oh, wow.
Aww.
Even for a Jack Russell, he lived very long.
Or, at least based on release date of the movies he's in. I don't know if one of them was like, shot and held for a couple years, but last movie, 2008.
Damn.
Okay. All right, Rimshot.
King. We stand.
Yes. It will not be probably the only time I mess his name up, though. Okay. So then there's a flashback of Ernest at school, and his teacher says he never quit or he never give up or something like that. And then young Ernest drags his nails on a chalkboard. And it makes my teeth hurt just thinking about it because it happened twice in this movie, and I was extremely upset by it. Terrible. Hackmore, we also see Hackmore has a table full of wooden dolls that she is putting into a sack. Interesting. And then we also see that the troll only needs one more kid to complete his Brussels sprout situation. Ernest goes back to the tree and sees all the pods, and it's basically just like, okay, this is when he talks about how Brussels sprouts are gross, which is incorrect. And then he's going to go tell Hackmore about it. But the troll, there's this whole scene where the troll is, coming after him and attacking him, while he's driving. And then at some point they both end up getting out of the truck and getting on the roof and fighting and stuff. And Rimshot is driving the car. He's a dog also, if you forgot. So he's driving the truck. Ernest throws a huge rope at the troll, and so the troll falls off the back of the truck, but the rope is stuck to the truck. So the troll pulls the rope and the truck towards him or whatever. And then Ernest tells Rimshot to put the truck in reverse, and he does, and they just run over the troll. And there's a moment where they don't know where the troll is, but then the troll pops back up and blows breath at them that I assume is very disgusting, given the amount of snot that goes into it. And Ernest falls into an oil barrel that the troll pushes off the back, and he rolls around on the ground and is hit by a car. And also he falls down the stairs a bunch. So again, 100% he would be dead in this situation.
Ernest should be dead a lot.
Yeah. He goes to Hackmore, and she uses a giant can opener to try and free him from the oil barrel while Ernest is reading the book. He ends up finding that two of the pages of the book are stuck together, and one of the pages says that the way that you can destroy the troll is by using something that is spelled M-I, then there's a letter missing, and then K. So M-I something K. And Ernest is like, oh, of course, authentic
Mink.
Bulgarian miak.
Mink fur.
Mink fur.
I mean, the first thing I would think of is Miak.
Yeah, which
makes sense.
I did look up, and it actually exists. It's basically yogurt. So sounds good to me. But I love that. Yeah, his first go-to is something extremely weird and obscure, and not just obviously what it is, which is milk. The sheriff drops Kenny off at the school Halloween dance, because, you know, everything's normal and fine. I guess, you know, there's not still missing children, but that's fine.
That's not important.
Ernest and Hackmore show up at the school dance. Also, Hackmore sees a mom and daughter arguing, and then they immediately make up or whatever, and, like, she basically realizes that the key to the prophecy that says something about, like, being a child of her or whatever is basically, like, the solution is unconditional love. But the reason I love this scene is because the mom is dressed like a pizza, and her costume is amazing. Like, I want to be Pizza Mom.
Yeah, you
like,
got your Halloween costume this year.
It kind of looks like a bellhop outfit, but pizza, and then she's drawn, like, pizza toppings on her face, and it is just amazing. This is, like, my favorite thing from the movie, is Pizza Mom. And her daughter is, like, a stupid-looking puppy or something. Anyways,
her horrible, wretched daughter.
Her dumbass daughter that's like, I hate you, Mom. And then she's just like, well, I'm not very fond of you either. And then the kid is like, I'm sorry, I love you. And I was like, yeah, you tell her.
And the mom was like, too fucking bad, and shoots her.
Yes.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up they put that in the movie.
Yeah.
Pizza Mom's a queen.
It's a kid's movie. It's wild.
Yeah. Weird. What was Disney thinking? I don't know. Yeah, so this whole scene is basically just because Hackmore realizes that the thing that they need to save the day is unconditional love. Very sweet. Ernest goes inside to warn everybody about the troll, basically, but everyone's ignoring him because there is a costume contest that's about to start. Of course, the troll pops up. Yeah. The annual costume contest. All of these kids have really shitty costumes, by the way. Definitely could have done better. No one.
Pizza Mom kicked all their asses.
I say the one that shows up as a troll is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's an actual troll. Never mind.
I love that the bully brother, like, definitely thinks that this troll costume is, like, not only another child, but also calls them, like, a dork or thinks that they're lame. That costume had to have cost hundreds of dollars, like, and I don't even remember what he was dressed as. That's how stupid he was. But it's the troll, and the troll starts attacking one of the bully brothers, and everyone's, like, screaming and running away and stuff, and bully brother gets turned into a doll, of course. Ernest comes in and squares up against the troll because he's confident now, and it's basically just like, oh yeah, I'm not scared of you. I have authentic Miak, and he's
got authentic Bulgarian Miak.
Oh yeah, Bulgarian. And he, like, has the jar, and he's, like, tossing it between his hands and stuff, and the troll is just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Breathes on him again, and Ernest flies back and gets squirted on by an ice cream machine, and the troll does not like that, and he runs away. This is when Kenny realizes that the troll... No.
Upsetting.
Oh,
Upsetting to watch.
Kenny realizes that the troll has turned poor little Rimshot into a wooden dog.
Boo.
Yeah.
And
the only time I'm
Ernest
not on the troll side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Ernest is very upset by this, of course. And Kenny is just like, oh, he basically, like, sees a sign and says, like, oh, he says that the reason that the thing that the trolls are, that can defeat the troll is mother's care, which is milk. And I don't know why, but that really grossed me out.
Yeah, that's not great.
I don't love any of the implications of this.
It has to be fresh breast milk. Like,
and I, like,
has to be squirted right on them.
I was gonna say, like, squirted right from.
That's the other version of this movie.
So
I don't appreciate
the non-Disney.
Yes, I don't appreciate that. Like, that was on a sign by the ice cream machine. Very disgusting. Anyways, so the parent. Oh, okay. So he's trying to be like, yeah, it's milk. Milk is the thing that can destroy them. But the parents and the sheriff, like, are not listening to him, and they're just gonna go to the troll tree or whatever. And the kids who are basically left, including the other bully brother, basically like team up and they're just gonna kick shit. Other bully brother is dressed as Dracula, so of course I am for that. It's not as good as Pizza Mom, but it's not as bad as whatever other stupid stuff. The troll puts the last of the dolls in the tree, and this is when Ernest shows up and sees the troll standing in front of the tree and just like fucking rams his truck into the tree to try and just like fucking kill him, but the troll of course disappeared. And then the pods start falling out of the tree, and there's like this scene where Ernest is trying to like catch them all, but it does not work. And then basically the pods that fall on the ground start like festering and smoking and shit, and then more trolls pop out of the ground. And
so gross.
This entire scene is like extremely cool.
They're in like fleshy sacks popping out of the ground.
It is quite a choice for a children's movie. I will say that. Is this PG?
I think so.
Interesting.
Honestly, good. Kids need to be scared like this.
I agree.
Kids need a good, fun movie that is fucking horrifying.
I agree. I definitely agree. But they really went all out on this troll shit, that's for sure. And Ernest is trying to basically just, like, stop them. He's, like, hitting them with baseball bats and trying to, like, smother them in the ground with trash can lids and whatnot.
Not fucking around.
Working. No. So, meanwhile, the kids get on their bikes and ride into a store where they steal water guns and milk. The parents show up at the troll tree, and it's, like, fucking chaos, basically, because there are... I don't even know how many trolls out of the ground now, and basically they start an all-out war because the trolls are born with, like, axes and weapons and shit, which is interesting. And Ernest goes up in the treehouse to try and, like, you know, fight them off using the shenanigans of the treehouse. There's just kind of like a long scene of everyone fighting. The kids show up, and Kevin, the sheriff somehow gets handcuffed to his own car, and
Look,
one
he's
of
a
the
cop.
trolls...
He's not smart.
Yeah.
No. One of the trolls, like, puts the bullets from his gun in his mouth, and the other one hits him in the back of the head. So he's firing bullets at the sheriff.
The best trolls.
Yes.
Incredible.
And so they're firing bullets at the sheriff when the kids show up, and Kevin ends up saving his dad, from getting shot, squirts milk all over the trolls, and they disappear. And basically, the sheriff is just like, way to go, Kevin, go do it. And I'm like, okay, your kid's also like 8, so maybe calm down. But basically, the kids just run around and start killing the trolls and stuff. Kevin ends up saving Ernest too. Then there's a scene where Ernest drinks from a milk carton, and then this is when the troll that literally looks like just a pale killer clown from outer space shows up, and Ernest spits milk on his face, and he disappears. And I didn't like anything about the situation. The main leader troll, meanwhile, goes down into the tree and asks the evil demons to make him stronger. And he basically gets very goopy and tendrily, and he gets horns and stuff. There are literally tendrils, like, whipping around out of his head like this is the thing, but for children. It's pretty gross. This is when, what was her name? Not Hedgeworth. Hacklemore? Hackmore. This is when Hackmore
Macklemore.
Yeah. Macklemore's in this movie.
Macklemore shows up and places the wooden dolls that she had into the tree, and basically it's just like, don't worry, the spell is going to be broken tonight. Ernest does the different character thing again about defending the treehouse or whatever.
Hell
and
yeah.
They just continue to kill more trolls, and they kill almost all of the trolls. And everyone starts, like, cheering, and they're like, yay, yay. But then Hackmore shows up and it's just like, oh, it's not over yet, because then big bad goopy tendril troll shows up and throws Ernest off the treehouse. He is so powerful now that milk doesn't stop him, and he turns Kenny into a wooden doll. Hackmore says this is when she's basically just like, no, it's not actually the milk that destroys them, it's unconditional love.
I also like that she just kind of like whispers it to like the mayor instead of telling Ernest.
I also love this scene because when she's saying it, this is when Ernest also realizes that it's not the milk, it's like the kids and his like unconditional love for each other or whatever, and like trying to protect their community. And it should be like a very like heartfelt moment, but the crowd, while he's realizing this, is yelling like, kill the troll, kill the troll, kill him, not like, yeah, go Ernest, we believe in you, whatever. They're like, kill, and he's like, yeah, unconditional love. And it just was like unhinged, essentially. So yeah, he realizes that it's unconditional love, and so the troll is basically just like, rah! And like charges at Ernest, and Ernest is just like, come here, little buddy. And he embraces the troll and dances around with it and kisses it on the head, and then it explodes.
Perfect.
All right.
A great like slow dance version of the intro theme.
Yeah, it's like ballroom dancing situation. Definitely not what I was expecting to happen. And so basically everyone starts, he explodes. He's gone. Everyone starts cheering, and this is when the kids turn back into real kids. Everyone's like being reunited. Hackmore's dolls come back to life, and they are the kids that were turned into dolls like when this happened hundreds of years ago or whatever the fuck, and except that one of them is her sister. I guess it wasn't hundreds of years ago, but anyways, it's very sweet. I couldn't imagine being a doll for like years and years and then like waking up and not being a doll. That would be very strange.
Depends on if you're conscious or not.
That's what I'm saying.
Seems like if you're not, it seems like pretty restful. It'd be pretty nice.
Yeah. Relaxing.
And so they were able to turn back into regular kids again. And then there's like all this heartfelt, like, of course, Kenny's parents are like, sorry, I doubted you. You're awesome. And he's like, thanks, Dad. And they're like, whatever. Meanwhile, Ernest is like all like kind of sad and like, there's nothing in that tree for me. I'm all, he's all alone.
Heartbreaking.
But then Rimshot turns back into a real dog and comes out, and he's like, oh man, Rimshot. And then they hug, and everything's happy. And it's the end.
Perfect. 10 out of 5 stars.
Very interesting.
Criterion Collection.
100%. I can't believe there hasn't just been a box set yet of just all of the Ernest movies.
Right?
Is there like weird copyright?
It's got to be weird
like
rights issues.
I mean,
across multiple studios or
it's
something.
It's just like the first 4 Disney, and then everything after that's like, I don't know if they're all the same studio or not, but like, you can work that shit out. Just work it out to make one copy for me. I think the only thing that's been on Blu-ray so far is maybe this in Jail.
I've seen those two regularly. I don't know if anything else has made it to Blu-ray.
I feel like one of them was like a combo with like maybe like Jail and Christmas or some shit, something like that. But I don't know. They most of them have not made it to Blu-ray yet, so
tragic.
Somebody get to work. There's a documentary about Jim Varney in like the works that I'm like dying to see and be in. Somebody put me in that documentary.
Honestly.
All right. Any news?
I saw that they're making a sequel to Ouija Shark.
Great.
Oh no.
Yeah. Ouija Shark 2.
Why'd they do that?
No, I do not know.
Was that a Polonia Brothers movie? Nope. All right. I'll watch it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Brett Kelly directed it.
Yeah. On August 12th, which is a month from now, Netflix is launching a new movie called Day Shift, which is a vampire hunting movie starring Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg.
Weird.
So, don't know what to think about that. I'm in it for Snoop Dogg, but everything else about it, I'm not so sure about.
It's gonna be another Bright.
We have to watch this movie Brett Kelly did called Conga TNT. That is, after becoming injected with a formula derived from an alien ship, a lab gorilla escapes from his containment and befriends two young boys. The alien formula causes the gorilla to grow to gargantuan size and rampage throughout the city, and the boys must find a way to save their simian friend before the army takes him down. Currently sitting at a 1.9 star rating. So this has to be good.
Great. There's no way it's not. Let's see. I saw that Finn Wolfhard is set to write and direct a horror comedy slasher called Hell of a Summer. I think he's also starring in it, which I think typically does not work out, but I really like him, so I'm hoping it's gonna work out. I don't know. I feel like we're at the verge of, like, the younger kids of, like, who is going to solidify themselves in, like, movies and horror in the future right now. So it'll be, like, interesting to see. I don't know any other details except for that. Then, kind of related, I guess, I saw the Duffer Brothers, who are the ones that created Stranger Things, have a new label that is under Netflix called Upside Down Pictures, where they are going to be creating the most baffling mix of things to me, which amongst what is listed now is a Stranger Things spinoff, a series adaptation of The Talisman, which is a book that was written by Stephen King and Peter Straub. Can
we just stop making Stephen King adaptations for a little bit?
I guess not. But then also a series adaptation of Death Note, which is an anime and a manga, and also already a live-action movie. And I'm just like,
from Netflix.
What is happening here? I'm so confused.
I hate it. All of it.
Then also whoever created and did Dark Crystal, whatever the new series is also doing an original thing. And I just can't imagine, like, what these just seem like such random things to be going together. But I do have to say, like, I don't know. In the past years, I've tried to watch some of, like, the Netflix original stuff, and I just, besides like any of, like, the horror movies, and I'm just, like, not into them. So I just really don't understand why you need to have another, like, production company under Netflix doing this weird licensed material. I don't know.
I can't tell you the last thing I watched on Netflix that I actually enjoyed, that, like, other than, like, I Think You Should Leave.
Is that made by Netflix, though?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's made by Netflix,
but
it's the only
Netflix original.
It's the only thing on Netflix. Like, it's only on Netflix.
Okay.
Like, movie-wise, especially horror movie-wise, Netflix is just abysmal selection.
Yeah. It's, like, getting worse, and then they're just, like, raising the prices.
I don't know, Caitlin and I talk all the time about, like, we just need to cancel Netflix because we never use it. And then, like, every time I'm like, yeah, let's just do this, it'll be like, oh, here comes this new, like, one of the, like, 2 good things on there that I'll ever watch. It's like, oh, new season coming soon. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. I do not, I use the household Netflix. I never again would pay for Netflix.
I really, at this point, it's just so I can rewatch I Think You Should Leave, and that's it. I guess every once in a while they'll get like, some old movie.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like their original content is pretty garbage.
Yeah.
All right, Kit, what'd you watch this week?
A bunch of bullshit.
I know one I want to hear you talk about.
So Suburban Sasquatch is number one. The most incredible film I've ever seen.
What'd you watch that on?
It was on Tubi.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna wait till I get the Blu-ray, but
so
I'm like
scared.
I can't wait.
I don't ever know what to expect whenever you say something is incredible. I'm either it's
life-changing.
It's called
or
Suburban
I'm gonna hate it.
Sasquatch. It's incredible because it's terrible but good.
The Sasquatch has titties.
Hell
which
yeah.
rules.
Troubled Moon Films. Oh my god.
Look, it's not Full Moon Pictures, okay?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, other than that,
House Squatch.
Oh, House Squatch. Yeah, I forgot I watched that. That was fucking dog shit. Jesus Christ. It just played automatically after Suburban Sasquatch, and I was painting, and I was like, well, it'll be on in the background, who cares? And it was still distractingly awful, even from back, like, in the background. Atrocious. If you see that Polonia Brothers logo, like, it's not even okay to play in the background. Just turn it off. It's not worth it.
Any movie that like wasn't for the podcast, that if I'm like, I always look now, especially on Tubi.
You have to.
I'm like,
you've got to be vigilant.
Who directed this? Because
You
it's
have to be vigilant
just not
against the Polonia brothers.
Not worth the fucking probably 63 minutes to watch it.
The brain rot that you suffer. And then Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which is pretty decent. It's like exactly what you think of when you think of like, oh hey, Saturday afternoon movie that's on HBO.
Yeah.
It's exactly what that movie is.
John Travolta, Denzel Washington.
Pretty good for what it is.
It goes on and on.
Talk a lot about dog buttholes, which is pretty funny.
It should be in every movie, to be honest.
Rimshot.
Agreed. Yeah.
Katie, what'd you watch?
Aside from stuff for the bonus episode, the only things I watched was The Night House, which is from 2020. That I liked fine. It was kind of like basically a movie where this woman's husband dies, and then like kind of spooky, weird stuff happens, and then I don't know. I don't want to give.
There's a house at night.
Yep.
There is a house there's multiple houses at night. Spoilers.
I like that one.
Yeah, it was fine. I don't feel like the plot was anything. Like, I don't know. It was just fine.
Okay, you're a day house person. I see.
Yeah, I very much a day house person. It was just kind of like if you're into like slow burn kind of movies, I think this would be for you. I think that they did some kind of unique stuff that I haven't really seen in like that kind of setting before, but it was kind of slow for the payoff, I feel, but like I still liked it. It was fine. It's been on my watch list for a really long time, so I was glad that I finally watched it. And then the only other thing that I saw was Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
I have to say, I really liked it. I'm not like a Top Gun person, but like my husband and my mother-in-law love it. Did you even watch the first one?
No, absolutely not. And I never will.
I've definitely seen the first one. I've only seen it once. I don't have strong feelings about it either way. I don't really care about military or Marine or any of that stuff. But we did go to see it because also my brother-in-law works on one of the planes that they showed in the movie or something too. So they were all about it. And it was it was just really good. I was like so shocked. I was really skeptical because it is one of those things where it's like, they're redoing like kind of like a classic movie, adding all of these like new kids to it and like doing whatever. And I feel like normally that doesn't work out, but they did a good job of like integrating the old plot into the new plot, but like just enough, but not too much. And Tom Cruise is just crazy in it. I don't know what actual stuff he did in this or not. There's a lot more plane flying than I feel like the first one had, but like I feel like they did a pretty good job of like making it cohesive. So like you still know what was going on even though there was a lot of plane stuff. So I don't know. Overall, I shockingly very good. I think I gave it 4.5 stars.
Yeah, last time I looked, it was
sitting
pretty high rating on Letterboxd. Yeah, still 4.2.
It's 4.2. Yeah,
which is it's baffling that movie is even watchable, let alone apparently good.
That's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't at all. I can't explain it to you, but it was legit so good. And then of course Val Kilmer was in it, and it like broke my heart because
I was trying not to tear up.
I did. I don't know that I actually cried, but I literally did. I was happy that he got to do like what he could, because obviously it's like probably means a lot to him to be a part of it at this point, but very tough to sit through. But yeah, overall pretty good. I'm not really a super fan of the kid who plays Goose's son, but I thought he did a pretty good job in this movie. Shit, what is his name?
Miles Teller.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet, yeah. I assume. He's in everything.
I don't know.
He played Tom Cruise in this.
He played the jet.
Yeah. He's the F-18.
I don't. He was the classified stealth bomber. I don't think I've seen a single thing with him in it. To be very honest. Let me see. How do you spell his name? Shyamalan?
Let's just look up Top Gun Maverick and then. Oh, Timothy Chalamet or Miles Teller?
Timothy Chalamet.
Did you watch Dune?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Watch the David Lynch.
Then yeah, that's the only thing I know him from, really. That and whatever the Wes Anderson movie was, the French one.
I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, Call Me by Your Name, Lady Bird.
Oh yeah, he was in Lady Bird. I forgot about that.
The Adderall Diaries. Yeah, haven't seen a single thing with him in it. So, I do plan on watching Dune sometime. I know I asked if it mattered which one I watched, and then I just felt like I wasn't up to it. So
I'm just waiting for them to do the whole story. Then I'm just gonna watch all of them.
Dune it up.
Yeah. How many is there supposed to be?
15.
They're gonna.
No, there's one more.
They're gonna end. I guarantee you they stretch it out into like a third.
He says that he wants to do Dune Messiah too, but I mean we'll see how well Part 2 does. I would love for Messiah because it's real good.
Well, and then I tried to watch Ghost Adventures House Call or something, and it's basically just people. It's basically like the Ghost Adventures people going to people's actual houses instead of like historical places or whatever. And then Zach Baggins watches on Zoom and says that he gets possessed and stuff through Skype and whatnot. And it is so it is a little too ridiculous for me. So
that's
Zach.
it.
Mostly just been watching The Simpsons.
Nice.
I just like randomly one night just put on I just started at like season 3, and so we just been watching that. And that's about it. Been watching. I'm just working my way through a bunch of Kevin Smith stuff still when I'm like at work, when I'm not watching 3-hour sci-fi shit for Patreon. Shout outs, Katie.
I'm going to shout out a game called
Life.
Cozy Grove, a game called the board game Life. And it is essentially like a gathering, like fetch quest type game, but you are stranded on an island with a bunch of ghosts that you have to do things for them in order for them to like move on from the island, essentially. And there's like crafting and foraging and decorating and like all that stuff. But it's pretty cute if you're into like, you know, Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing and stuff like that. Except sad because they're ghosts.
All right, what about you, Kit?
Tour packages that have a terrible headliner so I can leave early. Shout out.
Carcass currently trending on Twitter. So
Carpet?
Carcass. Yeah, carpet.
Oh.
Katie, why were you so excited about that?
Like, finally my time has come.
I was confused.
Apparently. The fuck is my shout out? Fuck it, The Simpsons. Go watch The Simpsons. The baseball episode.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Every year I like to do like what's it called? Disney Plus will do like a curated
Like the
list
Treehouse
of their
of Horror
like
ones or
Halloween
whatever.
episodes. Yeah, and I'll always just put that on. I love it so much.
Those are pretty much the only ones worth watching of any of the newer seasons. I'll usually watch those
Yeah.
and just like not watch any of the rest. Alright, Kit, did you pick anything for next week?
Yeah.
What we got?
Are you ready?
Yeah, Tremors
No.
7.
No. I already did that for a podcast one time. Never again. Dread.
Oh, hell yeah. The
Carl
Urban
Urban
one.
Yeah.
I never watched that.
Ghost
so-
directed by Alex Garland.
Sick.
It rocks. It is on Prime, free with ads.
Oh yeah, I'm in. I've been
Why can I not find this on Letterboxd?
just DREDD.
There we go.
Well, watch the fucking Stallone one again too. The Stallone one rocks. It's so good.
But so is this one. They're both dudes rock.
I fucking love the comic
max.
books, and like for whatever reason, I just kept putting off this one. So I'm in.
It's great. It's basically the Raid.
Yeah,
You know,
I know he doesn't take his helmet off, which I'm here for.
Yeah.
'Cause
Carl Urban's incredible in it.
Judge Dredd should not take his helmet off. Is Rob Schneider in this one?
Sadly, no.
Ah, boo.
Couldn't even put him in there to kill him.
Just put him in there to yell out right-wing talking points.
Yeah.
All right. If you would like to support us, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/IOPSufferPodcast. When this is out, we've just released our regular bonus episode where our patron Mac picked 3 weird TV sci-fi movies for us to watch. I-Man, Earth Star Voyager, I think it was called, and then Not Quite Human 2, where somebody pretends to be a robot pretty badly. But Scott Bakula's in one of them. So
Yeah.
we get to talk
Back attack.
about the back for a while.
The back attack.
You can buy merch at our Store Frontier shop. Leave us a rating on Spotify and a rating and review on iTunes. Tell us your favorite not made Ernest movie. There's a bunch of them. One of them was going to be a NASCAR movie, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
Amazing.
The Stranger Things Ernest movie.
There was also going to be a Friday the 13th NASCAR movie. Or that was a pitched
Oh,
idea.
what?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
There was a pitched idea of Friday the 13th movie where Jason's just like killing people to NASCAR thing.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Because they're stupid. That should be, now that like whatever rights or, I don't know, Blumhouse is trying to get it, that's what, if Blumhouse wants my money, they're going to put Jason Voorhees in fucking NASCAR.
They're going to have to do NASCAR, yeah.
I also still won't pay to see that. I'll fucking download it. You can follow us on Instagram at I Hope You Suffer Podcast. Follow Kit at Kitrification of Blood. Follow Katie at Werewolf Face. Join Katie's Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfface. You can listen to my other podcast, Nate Kate Movie Club. Go listen to our Ernest Saves Christmas episode, where Caitlin was also extremely baffled by Ernest as a first-time watch.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that one for this year for Christmas.
Watch that in jail, and that's, well, camp, Christmas, jail, and Scared Stupid are like all pretty great. Then that's just diminishing returns after that. But Will Sasso is in Ernest Goes to School, and Sarah Chalk from Roseanne and Scrubs.
Wow.
Also, Beanstalk or whatever for Earthstar Voyager is also in Ernest Goes to School. Whoever that fucking kid's name was.
Crossover.
Alright. Dread next week. We're all gonna scream "I am the law" a bunch.
I am the
I
law.
gotta get my Stallone accent down.
Law.
Katie, have you ever seen the Stallone Judge Dredd?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Where Rob Schneider has to fucking jump in and take over a fucking food machine robot that is for some reason run by spaghetti on the inside.
Okay, well, I don't remember that part, but I'm pretty sure I have seen it.
I'm gonna watch both, I think. I haven't watched the Stallone one in a while, but it's extremely stupid.
Sounds amazing. I love spaghetti machines.
Yeah. It's the best kind of machine, if you ask me.
Amen.
Oh, also, I was on an episode of Diarrhea Doom talking about Maryland Death Fest, so go listen to that. Talk about all of the extremely cool shit that happened this year.
The autopsy pit pussy incident.
Yeah, somebody fucking committed suicide. There was a shooting apparently like outside it. Will Romer just beat a sack of shit.
Yeah, being Will Romer.
Yeah, I meant to mention that last week that I forgot, so got it in right under the wire this episode.
Yeah.
Alright, I hope you rim job, but why?
No.